Don't you just love those recipes where you can throw everything in one pot, set it for a certain cook time, and then walk away, come back a little while later, and your dish is done? Well, that is exactly what we're doing today with this chicken corn chowder. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. And let me tell you, there's nothing easier than this chicken corn chowder. I'm gonna make it in the slow cooker this time. Don't worry if you don't have this style of slow cooker. I've tested it in several different ones and it all works exactly the same, okay? Just some take a little bit longer. So don't worry about that. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later in the video, but let's get the ingredients into the pot because there's hardly any prep to this. You're gonna start off with about 1 pound of frozen or thawed, it really doesn't matter in this recipe, but these are frozen chicken breasts. These are boneless, skinless chicken breast. We want about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds. You can use chicken thighs if you want, but I prefer the chicken breast in this recipe, believe it or not. Just dump those right into the pot. You can see how frozen they are. Then we're gonna add in corn, because it's chicken corn chowder. You wanna have about 2.5 cups of corn, any type you want. This is just frozen corn kernels. You can use canned, you can use fresh, anything you want goes right into the pot. And you can see mine still have crystals, ice crystals on them. No problems. Put the ice in. It's not going to create any issues in this recipe. Then for some garlic. I like to use between 5 and 6 cloves of smashed garlic. You could use minced garlic if you want. You're just going to want to use about 1 tablespoon. And we're going to throw those in. And then for the vegetables, and honestly, these are optional. So if you didn't feel like doing the prep to cut up the celery or cut up the onions, you can leave them out. But I did find that especially the onions really added a nice flavor. What I have here is 1 sweet onion. It's about 1 cup, and it is diced in probably about 1.5 inches dice, but that doesn't even matter. You can make them a little smaller or make them a little bit bigger. It's perfectly fine. And then I have 2 celery stalks that I also cut in about 1 to 1.5 inch dice, and that was about 1 cup as well. All right, now for an ingredient you may not expect, some raw bacon. I know everybody likes bacon, cooked bacon, crispy bacon on their chicken corn chowder, at least I do. But when you put in 2 slices of thick cut bacon, any kind of smoke flavor you want, this happens to be applewood smoke, but you could use hickory, anything you like, or 4 slices of thin cut bacon works just the same. When you put this in, you're gonna get a little smoky flavor into your chowder, and you also just get this delicious bacon flavor. I mean, it's really, really good. So don't skip that unless you don't like bacon. Okay, 4 tablespoons of butter going straight in. Seasoning blend, 1.5 teaspoons of fine ground sea salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. You can adjust that. When I first started testing the recipe, I did 2 teaspoons of the salt and 1 teaspoon of the pepper. I really liked it, but I thought that it was a little peppery and just a tad bit salty. That's probably because of the bacon. So if you skip the bacon, make sure that you increase your salt or salt at the end to taste. And those are the only seasonings I'm using. Of course, you could add in other seasonings that you like. That's no problem whatsoever. All right, now for the potatoes. You can use new potatoes or you can use these Yukon Gold potatoes. I do recommend using either the new potatoes, whether they're red-skinned or whether they're the yellow ones, or the Yukon Gold. They're gonna hold up better in your chowder than a russet, so I do recommend that. If you use the smaller new potatoes, you can just cut them in half or you can cut them in fourths. It depends on how big of a bite you want. Now with these, I just wash them. I don't even peel the skin, which is what I love because this recipe is supposed to be super easy, and super easy means super easy prep. So I cut these larger potatoes into about, 4s, and then just go through and make these little chunks and throw them in. So this prep, if you will, takes no time at all. All right, so for the last couple of ingredients, we want to have 4 cups of chicken stock or chicken broth. We are not going to put it all in right away. What you want to do right now is put in about 3 cups. That looks good. And then we're going to add in a little bit of a flour slurry. Now, you could melt the butter, make a roux. You could do all that, but I wanted to keep this super easy. And because we're slow cooking, it's going to cook long enough. You're not going to have any flour taste. I don't want you to worry about that. This is pretty easy. This is 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And I like to put it in a little mason jar, but you could put it in a little bowl and whisk it up. Any way you can get it to become like a smooth mixture is perfectly fine. Now I'm going to put about a 1/2 cup here and reserve a 1/2 cup. That's for after we slow cook, and I'll go over that when we get closer to that time. Then just shake this up until all of the flour has mixed. And if you see any on the bottom here, you can go in with a little spoon and kind of mix it up a little bit. We don't want any lumps at all. All right, that looks good. I have a little bit of flour on the tip of my spoon, and it was just in a clump. I'm not even going to put it back in. It's fine. All right, now what we're going to do is pour this on top. Let me explain the rationale behind this. When you are slow cooking, the amount of liquid, and thin liquid in particular, that you have will change the rate of heat exchange and make things cook differently. So if we really thicken this up to the point of being a stew right off the bat, it is going to take a lot longer to cook. And we have a little bit of food safety issues going on here because we're using frozen chicken breast. Those chicken breasts need to heat up and come to an internal temperature of 140 degrees within about 2 hours of the cook time. So in order to accomplish that, we are only going to put in a little bit of the flour and the chicken stock as a slurry on top. And it will mix in and it will thicken over time, but it keeps the thin liquid on the bottom. So while it may look a little odd and you may question why I'm doing it, there is a reason, okay? And then at the end, we'll look and see if we need to thicken it anymore, because there's a very easy way to thicken it at the end as well. All right, so what I like to do is just sort of make sure that the chicken breast and some of the potatoes and stuff are in that thin liquid. The chicken breast especially. The butter's gonna melt as it heats up, so I don't really worry too much about that. All right, so that looks perfect. Now we're just gonna pour this in. Pour it in over top. It looks terrible. Don't worry about it. It works, I promise. All right, there we go. Good to go. Now put the lid on your slow cooker, and on the Possible Pro cooker, I'm gonna cook on high slow cook. I have tested the recipe on low and it just takes twice as long. So I'm gonna do the 3-hour slow cook for this recipe, but usually I set it for about 3.5 to 4 hours, just to give me a little leeway. And then we'll check it in about 2 hours. We'll do a temp of that meat so you know that we are complying with food safety rules. And then we'll let it finish up and I'll show you how beautiful this is. So let's just take the time down, and I'll take it down to 4 hours. But in my test batches, it has only taken about 3 hours, okay? So what you can do with almost all slow cookers is you could set it for the 6 hours on low and then let it switch over to keep warm if you're not gonna be home right at that 6-hour mark. That's gonna be perfectly fine. The other thing you wanna know is you wanna cut your potatoes just a little bit smaller because we have a lower heat in the pot. Obviously, we're going under low slow cook. So the potatoes sometimes don't get all the way done in the center if they're too big. So make sure you cut them just a little bit smaller than I did here today. Now, if you wanted to use the Ninja Foodi or another type of slow cooker, the process is exactly the same. It's just going to take different lengths of time. Like in the Ninja Foodie slow cook on high, it took about 5 hours for the chicken corn chowder to get done on high. I did not try it on low. And in a standalone crock pot or another slow cooker, you may find that it gets done a little bit quicker or it takes a little bit longer. So that will vary based on the slow cooker that you're using. But the basics are the same, so you can make this recipe in any slow cooker. So we've been slow cooking on high for about an hour, and I know I said I would check it in 2 hours for that food safety benchmark of at least reaching 140 degrees within that period of time. But I saw that it was really cooking and kind of simmering in there, so I thought I would give it a check, and we are already at that benchmark. So I wanted to show you and talk about that and the temperature of the chicken breast right now so that you don't worry that you're gonna overcook your chicken, okay? All right, now what I'm gonna do, I'm not stirring or anything like that because, a lot of times when you're slow cooking, you're not gonna be home. So you're not even gonna do this step, right? And I totally understand that. So we're not gonna stir, we're not gonna disturb anything. I'm just gonna temp one of those frozen chicken breasts. And I can see one poking out here. And I'm gonna go to what I believe is the center. And look at that, we are already up to about 180 degrees. And in some parts, it's even a little bit more than that. All right, so you know that chicken is done at 165 degrees. And I'm sure you also have heard or noticed that if you are grilling chicken or you're baking in the oven, that when you go much over 165 degrees, you end up with really tough chicken that's dried out, okay? That does not happen in the slow cooker, so I do not want you to worry about it. We have enough thin liquid that is keeping that chicken breast moist. Now, is it possible to overcook and dry out chicken in a slow cooker? Yes, it's possible, but it's not gonna happen in this recipe, okay? I've done this so many times. We want to take this chicken breast to an internal temperature of just about 200 to 210 degrees because it's going to shred into our chowder beautifully without us having to remove it and chop it up. So please don't worry, your chicken is going to be perfect in this recipe. Now I'm just gonna let it keep going for the additional 2 hours and then we will get it all finished up. All right, so we just have a few more minutes left on the 3-hour slow cook time, which is again on high. And that is about the time that it's been taking during my test batches of this. First, let's go ahead and temp that chicken. So we'll use a different one or the same one. So we are up over 200 degrees. That is exactly where you wanna be, somewhere between 200 and 210. And I'm gonna show you exactly why. So the first thing I like to do is take out the bacon. I am not a fan of, it's cooked, but it's like flabby. It's not crispy bacon. So I usually just pull that right out. It's done its job. It gave the flavor and I just take it out. If you want to leave it in, you can. It's fully cooked, but it's not crispy at all. All right, that looks good. Okay, now, before I do anything else, I'm gonna show you the chicken. So the chicken here is still whole, right? All you have to do is just take some tongs and just go through it. It's gonna shred up into your chowder so beautifully, so you don't have to remove it and take it out, and start chopping it up or anything like that. So I'm gonna do that with both of the chicken breasts. Then we're gonna give it a nice stir. And then we're gonna talk about thickening it more if you wanted it thickened more. Okay, so once your chicken is shredded into the chowder, then you're gonna determine whether or not you wanna just add some cream and make it into a nice creamy chowder, or whether or not you wanna thicken it some more. That is completely up to you. So that is about the thickness right now of it. The cream will add the creaminess, but not necessarily thicken it up anymore. So if you want a super thick chowder, this is what we're gonna do. I don't always do this because I happen to like it just adding a little bit of cream and then serving it. I like it that way. But I know a lot of people want a really, thick chowder. So let me show you how to do that. I have 1/4 cup of flour here. I'm not gonna add it all. I'm only gonna add half. So that's about 2 tablespoons. And remember that leftover broth? I'm gonna use half of that, so about 1/4 cup or so. And do the same thing that I did before in the very beginning. Just shake it up. And you can do this on sear saute or you could do this on the slow cook high. Either way is gonna be fine. Just depends on, how soon you wanna serve it. If you want to serve it really quickly, then go ahead and switch over to the sear saute on high, and that's gonna get this flour taste cooked out a little bit faster. All right, so then go ahead and pour this in. And give it a nice stir. And you're gonna see it start to thicken almost immediately, but we do have to let it sit here for a few minutes to cook off that flour taste, or you may end up tasting flour. Imagine that. Okay, so that looks good to me. That looks like a really good consistency. You could add up to another 2 tablespoons to even get it thicker. Just add in the rest of the chicken broth. But I'm not gonna do that, but I am gonna add in the chicken broth just so we don't waste it, but I'm not gonna thicken it anymore. And that looks so good. All right, now time to add the cream. So you can add as much or as little cream as you want. I start out with 1/2 cup. And with this, I go more by the looks of it than anything else, okay? I wanna have that nice, creamy looking chowder. And look at that, there we go. That's 1/2 cup. And that looks good to me. Oh my gosh, this is so easy. It smells so delicious. Now, of course, you salt and pepper to taste, so you can add more seasonings if you want, and then put the lid back on, wait about 10 minutes, and you're ready to serve your chicken corn chowder. All right, let's dish some up. Oh my gosh, looks perfect. Look at this. It is thick. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Put some in a bowl here, and I can go ahead and turn this off. And let's check out these potatoes. They are still intact, but perfectly cooked. And they break open, but they're not falling apart. That's important. And here we go. Wow. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely delicious. The chicken, it's in there, it's all shredded up. It's in there. It is so tender. It just sort of melts in your mouth. The corn, believe it or not, the corn tastes like it was fresh off the cob. It still has a little snap to it. I can't believe how easy this is. And it is so delicious and super simple seasonings. You can make this up and your whole family is going to enjoy it.